So while Joe Biden has been effectively dealing with the coronavirus at home in his underwear, Trump has been doing these dancing, showboaty press conferences day after day after day, every day. And it's gotten so bad that Democrats were like, whoa, why do you guys keep covering that? Well, it's the president of the United States. Of course you're going to cover the president of the United States in the middle of a crisis. Here's the catch. Donald Trump had months in advance to deal with the issues associated with the coronavirus. He didn't do it. Donald Trump could have forced companies in order to build the products that we needed, either medicines, vaccines, either equipment, either protective equipment, either ventilators. He had the power as president of the United States to do that. The president has vast, expanded powers and can give executive orders and force those things to get done. Trump didn't do those things. From the standpoint of social distancing, Trump was downplaying the disease going for months and was even going so far as to say, we need to open this up by April. Hopefully, people can go to Easter services. To put this in perspective, look at the death rate. Let's refresh. I like to get a fresh number. The United States, 587,156. Epicenter. Nobody else is even close. The United States is a perfect storm scenario. Human beings who are forced, because of the economic concerns, to go to work, despite the fact we're in the middle of a pandemic, regardless of whether they're sick or not. The impetus is not necessarily to stay home. The impetus is, I need a paycheck. You're talking about, what, 70% of the population living from paycheck to paycheck in regards to this country? Well, what happens when those paychecks stop? What happens when you shut down those companies because, you don't want to spread disease and the virus? What happens when you have situations like this where sick people continue to go to work, probably because they had to go to work? Meatpacking giant closed the South Dakota plant indefinitely after almost 300 employees test positive for COVID-19. What does that mean for the meat that's going out for this? And why did these people who were ill continue to go to work? Is it possible that they had to go to work because they didn't have ends to go further without it? The overwhelming majority of the people in this country don't have $500 in the bank in case of an emergency. Here's an emergency. Here's a situation where you need to stay home. Here's a situation where those people actually need to have those resources for this particular moment. Right now, United States, look at this. These are food lines. Look at this. This is the United States, richest country on the planet.
As of yesterday, you can tell there's a huge...
California, food lines. Look at all of those hungry people who are in desperate need of food. That's the line, those cars. Hungry people in desperate need of food in the richest country on the planet, because our country didn't provide, based on their jobs and everything else, to ensure that they had the resources to make ends meet. This is the world to which we exist. Question: what is Trump doing? Now, fact of the matter is, like I said, Trump's malfeasance has caused the death rate to be what the death rate is. Trump's inability to use the powers of the government to ensure that New York and California has the things that they need. Yeah, that wasn't done. Trump has been dancing around, effectively doing politics, while the population has been beleaguered and dying off in mass, or at the very least infected with disease in mass. We've had over 20,000 deaths at this point. And again, all of that is put at the doorstep of Donald Trump and his ineffective leadership. Donald Trump is having a press conference today, and one of the reporters pressed him on the exact issues that I am talking about. How do you think that went? It's Trump we're talking about. What I would tell you is it did not go well. Welcome to the late night Real Men Can't Sleep, Real Men Do the News soapbox. My name is Jamarl Thomas. This is the Progressive Soapbox. Guys, if you dig this content, please like, share, subscribe. You can always support this content through PayPal or Patreon. This content is brought to you by you, and I appreciate you allowing me to do it. Donald Trump is being reamed by a reporter. She is grilling the hell out of him. One basic question. What have you been doing as this coronavirus has expanded? I understand you're doing these press conferences, but what tangibly, what materially have you been doing, and haven't you failed in your response to this particular virus? I mean, after all, you're the president. You've had vast powers in order to deal with this issue, and you haven't. You failed. Is that true? Listen to Trump's response to this. His response is awesome. I'm going to let the reporter ask the question first. But this goes into an epic meltdown. It is beautiful to watch. Why can't Sanders act this way?
All I'm saying is this. How do you close down the greatest economy in the history of the world when on January 17th you have no cases and no death? When on January 21st you have one case and no death. One case. Think of that. Now, we're supposed to close down the country, but here's what happened. When on January 31st I instituted the ban, Joe Biden went crazy. He said, you don't need the ban. He didn't go crazy. Like, he didn't even know what the hell the ban was. But he didn't go crazy. But he did say, he did call me xenophobic. Wait a minute. He called me xenophobic. He called me a racist because he has since apologized and he said I did the right thing. So when you say, why didn't you this? Every Democrat thought I made a mistake when I did it. I saved tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of lives by putting
time that you bought. The argument is that you bought yourself some time. You didn't use it to prepare hospitals. You didn't use it to ramp up testing. Right now, nearly 20 million people are
disgraceful.
unemployed.
It's so disgraceful.
I love his answer. First, the reporter is right. She is flat fact right. And his response is, you're so disgraceful. Look, I have a weird, sick fetish for people who have the ability to deal with a crowd and deal with a group and tell them to go fuck themselves. It is not an easy thing to do. When you have pressure on you to take a particular position of, hey, you're wrong about this, or hey, this is, and all of them believe it, and you're standing there, and they're expecting you to believe it. George Galloway has this ability himself. He tell people in a heartbeat, go fuck yourself. Donald Trump comes out, you're so disgraceful. You're a disgraceful person. I love that. You have no idea how much I love that. Donald Trump is entirely wrong on this. He is busted on this. And she is absolutely right in pushing this particular button of you fucked up. And people are dying as a result of that. Yes, you bought time, but you didn't use that time wisely. And because of that, you didn't get the supplies, you didn't get the materials, you didn't get the protective gear, you didn't even get the ventilators. You weren't even running it from the standpoint of a federal position where the various states can be under the auspices of the government as it runs point, because the federal government would be the one who knows where the supplies are and everything else. You didn't even do that. You failed. That's her point. Trump doesn't like hearing that he failed and melts down.
Well, you said it. Let me just listen. I just went over it.
Or this rant supposed to make people feel
I just went over
in
it.
an unprecedented crisis.
Nobody thought we should do it, and when I did it.
But what did you do with the time that you bought?
You know
the
we
month
did.
of February. That
what we
video
did?
has a gap.
What do you do?
Month of February.
What do you do when you have no case in the whole United States?
You had cases
when
in February.
excuse me, you reported it. 0 cases, 0 deaths on January 17th.
January. February, the entire
January.
month of
I said in
February. Your video
January.
has a complete gap.
On
Month of
January
February.
30th.
What did your administration do in February with the time that your travel ban bought
A
you?
lot.
What?
A lot. And in fact, we'll give you a list. What we did, in fact, part of it was up there.
Do you see the bottom? Oh, this is awesome. This is awesome. Do you see the bottom? Look at the crawler. Look at the crawler. Angry Trump turns briefing into a propaganda session. Oh, that is the greatest thing ever today. You have no idea how bad my day was. I had a brutally rough day. And in having a brutally rough day, look, I'm not going to go into it. I'll just say I had aspirations that today were dashed. And my wife thinks I look at this stuff in brutal, ruthless terms because, you know, I am what I am. The same way I think about politics is the same way I think about real life. She's a different person than I am on this stuff. All I'm saying is, I gotta be honest, this is a fucking hilarious clip and an awesome laugh. Donald Trump is not tolerating this well at all. And he is, like, talking about the verge of melting down. He is almost there. She is going all in. She is not stopping. She is like, you failed. You had all of February. Trump is like, January 17th, there were no deaths. Yes, but February, they were. February, we started to get cases. In February, we could look at China. We could look at these other countries and we could see what was going on there. You failed. And Trump doesn't like it. And she's not stopping. And CNN runs the crawler. Angry Trump turns briefing into a propaganda session. God, that is the greatest thing I've seen today. That's fucking hilarious. And this is just, what, a minute and 47 seconds in. There's like 3 more minutes of this. I'm not going to do the entire clip. But I do want you to see Trump melting down and her going all in and CNN just putting a knife in Trump at this briefing.
We did a lot. Look. You know you're a fake. You know that. Your whole network, the way you cover it, is fake. And most of you, and not all of you, but the people are wise to you. That's why you have a lower approval rating than you've ever had before, times probably 3. And when you ask me that question, let me ask you this: Why did Biden apologize? Why did he write a letter of apology? No, that's very important. Why did the Democrats think that I acted too quickly? You know why? Because they really thought that I acted too quickly. We have done a great job. Now, I could have kept it open. And I could have done what some countries are doing. They're getting beat up pretty badly. I could have kept it open. I thought of keeping it open because nobody's ever heard of closing down a country, let alone the United States of America. But if I would have done that, we would have had hundreds of thousands of people that would right now be dead. We've done this right, and we really have done this right. The problem is the press doesn't cover it the way it should be.
The president has continually attacked.
That's an astonishing, like that. That is so good. Honestly, that's so good. I honestly, that is the best thing I've seen all day. It is the best thing I've seen all day. I'm going to say like, share, subscribe. Donald Trump flipping out. He said, you know you're fake. You know you're fake. Like it gets so personal. It gets so personal. It's so brutal. And he just goes in. This is the weirdest fucking thing ever. But is Trump is our president? Like, share, subscribe.